Good afternoon, our wonderful listeners. You're welcome to the midweek program, Corper'S Diary, on your family choice, Sunsplash FM, Efonalaye, Ekiti State. I'm your host, Precious Obot, and for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of the NYSC scheme. We all know how we do it on our Corper'S Diary program. We tend to invite a guest to talk about their experience, how the joining has been for them so far. But today is going to be a very wonderful and special edition. As you can see, I'm the only one alone in the studio, and today we're going to be taking you step by step on the NYSC scheme. If you know, today is Wednesday, the 10th of June, and some corpers, some people, prospective corp members are already on their way to camp. Some of them are already in camp, about to start the NYC program, the NYC scheme. So why not educate them, tell them how it's going to be. Apart from them, there are also people at home that would love to also know what this program is all about. What the whole NYC, what is it all about? People tend to say, oh, I want to go for service after I'm done with my school. What is it about? First of all, we're going to start as looking at NYC as a company. We all know it's supposed to have its objective, its vision, its mission, and its core values. Well, the NYC, known as National Youth Service Corps, was established in 1974 by the former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, GCFR, in the wake of Nigeria's civil war, which spanned between 1967 and 1970 as part of the reconciliation, reconstruction, and rehabilitation of the battered nation. The objective of founding the scheme has contained in the 1-3 of Degree 24 of 22nd May 1974, which was replaced by the Degree 51 of June 16, 1993, are as follows. One of the objectives is to inculcate discipline in Nigerian youth by instilling in them a tradition of industry at work and of a patriotic and loyal service to Nigeria in any situation they might find themselves. Another objective is to raise the moral tone of Nigerian youth by giving them the opportunity to learn about the higher ideals of national development, national achievement, social and cultural improvement. Another objective is to develop in Nigerian youth the attitude of mind acquired through cultural, mind, ethnic, and shared experience suitable for training, which will make them more amenable to mobilization for national interests. These are just few of the numerous objectives that the whole NYC scheme is all about. Moving down to their vision statements, it is to mobilize and groom graduate youth for the promotion of national unity, sustainable development, self-reliance, and prepare them for the challenges of leadership. The mission statement goes to say to develop a scheme that is dynamic enough to meet new challenges and become the most leading light of youth organization in Africa. And then coming down to the core values of the NYC scheme, we have the patriotism, integrity, efficiency, commitment, and of course teamwork. And just like the secondary school life, the university life, the primary school life, NYC has 4 segments. It is divided into 4 different segments. which can also be said 4 cardinal programs of the NYSC. Everyone knows that since its inception in the 1973 to date, it has the 4 major cardinal programs or activities in line with its statutory ob- objective. These 4 major programs are orientation course, the primary assignments, community development service, winding up, and of course passing out. Moving down to the requirements for registration, this is when you have already passed your out camp registration. That's the registration you do at home before coming to camp. This is the requirement for recommendation. It is compulsory to have the original documents of the following: your NYC call-up letter, your statement of results, Senate approved, your international foreign passport for foreign trained graduates, your evidence of completion of housemanship internship or evidence of regulatory bodies. This is for people studying medicine, pharmacy, optometry, and dental technology, as the case may be. Your 8 copies of your passport size photograph, your school identity cards, your cutleries, that involves your cooler, your bottle for drinking water, your spoon, your beddings, your clothing, and of course your writing material. Those requirements was for when you want to do your registration in camp. After registration comes the 21 days of the intensive parade, the morning drills, the social nights, the carnival days. They ups and down of the all joining. It's more like, oh, let me enjoy this particular days before I step out to enjoy the more tough part of the joining. Now, coming to the life after the NYC, that's the life after 21 days in camp, there is post orientation int. All corps members will be posted in line with the new NYC posting policies, which specify 4 major areas of national needs. These include education, health, agriculture, infrastructure. Also, the areas of need of Ekiti State will be given adequate consideration. And there are some instances that sometimes that someone might be posted to a particular place, but for one reason or the other might be rejected or accepted. You might get rejection because that particular place do not need coppers. They don't want, or they don't see need of coppers. And then you might get accepted because, oh, okay, yes, we want coppers. We asked for it. We want them to work with us. We want them to be here. So, on reporting to your primary place of assignment, collect an acceptance letter from your ZI, that's the zonal inspector. If you are rejected, please report to your zonal inspector or your local government inspector by reporting with your rejection letter. Verbal rejection will not be entertained. Insist on a rejection letter if you are rejected. Now, for example, I'm a copper and I go to it's a place that was given to me by the NYSC. And okay, I'm on getting there, I'm told that, oh, we do not need coppers at the moment. I'm rejected. The handbook says I have to report back to the ZI or the LGI with a letter that says that, oh, I've been rejected from this particular place. They do not want me, or they see no need of a copper. You understand? So I can't just start reporting to my ZI or reporting to my LGI that, oh, I got rejected at this particular place. without proof that I was actually rejected. That is what it means there. Same thing also goes to being accepted. You have to still get a photocopy of your acceptance letter, that's your PPA letter, photocopy it. There is a place where they normally put accepted or rejected. Take the a photocopy of it and take it to your local government inspector or your ZI, whichever comes in hierarchy. You do this for documentation purposes. You might be wondering, during my remaining 10 months of serving, what are the do's and don'ts of what are the do's and don'ts to note? You might be asking yourself, what are the do's and don'ts to note? Number one is that it is wrong to travel home immediately after orientation camp without written approval by your state coordinator. Contravention to rule attracts the forfeits of allowance for the numbers of days spent and extension of service, double for the period absent at the end of your service year. No employer has the authority to grant leave of absence to corps members to be away from the state. Only the state coordinator and ZI can authorize that. Note that corps members are not to travel outside the state during school or college vacations and public holiday without permission from the state coordinator. Corps members must be dressed in their uniform when visiting the state coordinator or the zonal office for any transaction or business. In case of any leave of absence, except in the case of the 21 days vacation granted as a terminal benefit of on the completion of your service, leave of absence is a privilege granted at the discretion of the Director General in accordance with the leave scale down by the National Directorate Headquarters from the time due. A lot of people might be asking, what is the 21 days vacation terminal leave? This is a leave that is inclusive. At the close of your NYC service, at the close of your NYC year, you are permitted, you are obligated, you have the right to take a 3 weeks leave, inclusive before your discharge date. Except in case of vacation leave, that's the 21 days, the 3 weeks terminal leave. Total numbers of days that can be granted as leave for whatever reason shall not exceed 14 days in any service year. For example, you want to take another leave that is not your 3 weeks terminal leave. Maybe you have a medical issue, or you want to go for your marriage leave or maternity leave. You are obligated to 14 days. That's a maximum of 2 weeks only. Leave of absence shall not be granted to enable a member to travel outside Nigeria, except by the Director General. Leave of absence shall begin on the day specified in the letter approving such leave, and a member is acquired or required to rejoin his post on the day that the leave expires. On rejoining the post from the leave, it shall be the duty of each member to acquaint himself or herself with all instruction issued during his or her absence. on the do's and don'ts, no corp member should be involved in any act of forgery. No corp member should enroll into organizations of group without the prior knowledge or written consent of the state coordinator. No corp member shall engage in fraudulent activities or practices. No corp member should engage in physical fighting. No corp member should assault any official of the NYC or his employer in the place of his primary assignment over belly. No member should take part in participants' politics activities or engage in any action detrimental to the image of this scheme. Hey, I have like 10 minutes, make it 30 minutes. If you're still tuned to Sunsplash FM or you're listening to us on Facebook or YouTube, or of course the online radio at sunsplashfm.org, this is Corper'S Diary, your midweek program. And you know, as we all do it, have a guest, talk about his or her experience. But today is a little bit of a special one because we are talking about the whole NYC scheme. So, taking a recap of everything from the orientation course to the primary assignment to the community development service to the winding up and the passing out activities, like I said, it's more like also going to university, it's more like going to the primary school. It has segments, it has stages by stages, and the NYC scheme has 4 stages. So, taking a recap of it, starting with the orientation course, a corps members must actively participate in the orientation camp activities, which include parade and paramilitary training, physical training, man-o-war activities, sports games, language study lectures, kitchen and cooking activities, sanitation and social activities. Also, corps members' personal qualities such as sense of duty, teamwork, reliability, discipline, resourcefulness, special contribution made to the success of the orientation course are also assessed. Moving after the 21 days in camp for the orientation course is your posting, where you get to be posted to a primary place for assignment. A corps member must discharge his or her role at the primary assignment post meticulously, not having any query by his or her corps employee. The corps member personal qualities are also assessed by his corps members by his employer. These include punctuality to duty, devotion to fullness, loyalty, effectiveness, initiative, resourcefulness, and of course, relationship with others, self-control, etc. Moving on to the third scheme is the community development service. A corps member must initiate and execute a personal community development service project which will be of tremendous benefit to his host community. It touches on the life of the host community. He must also participate in general or group community development service. Community development service, otherwise known as CDS, is compulsory for all corps members and they are to be assessed on your round community development projects and traditional community development projects. Moving on to the last part of the NYC scheme, where a lot of corps members are always very happy and excited to have, is the winding up and the passing out activities. The last but not the least is the winding up activities and passing out activities, where corpers are expected to participate in parade rehearsals that prepare them for the passing out parade as well as the other ceremony. Also, corps members must have high sense of objectivity, conceive, initiate, and execute valuable projects in his or her host community. Most possess personal qualities like sense of duty, resourcefulness, determination, etc. We all know the world that we are now and the country that we are now and the alarming cases of insecurity. The AYC scheme is not a very insensitive one. It gives a room for relocation from one state to another. In case you want to relocate, there are always two different grounds that you can relocate on. Either it is marital or health ground. But the funny thing is that the marital grounds are not for both genders. It is specifically just for the female genders. The wife being far away from their husband, they are obligated, they have the right to relocate to the state where their husband is. Another grounds on which you can apply for relocation is your health. How do you go about it? A corps member who wants to be relocated to another state should, after the swearing in ceremony, apply in his or her writing stating why he or she wants to be relocated. The application should be addressed to the Director General through the state coordinator. If you are applying on marital ground, you are to attach the following: marriage certificate, change of name in any of the national newspaper, a letter from your husband's office as an evidence that your husband is domiciled in the state you want to relocate to. Moving to those applying on medical grounds, a medical paper from an institution's medical center or a recognized general hospital, federal medical centers, military or police hospital, and teaching hospitals such as medical reports and subjects to further recapping on those applying for medical grounds. A medical paper from your institution medical care center, from a recognized general hospital, a federal medical center, a military or police hospital, teaching hospital such as medical reports are subject to further checking and documentation, meaning that you have to bring a medical report that is from a recognized hospital before you can actually be permitted or before your relocation can be granted for you. And that's it on today's Corper'S Diary. I hope you learned a few or many things about the NYC scheme, the different stages to it, and how to go about the do's and don'ts of the whole scheme. My name is Precious Obot. Until next time, same time next week, I remain your wonderful host. Bye bye.